another time when technology has gone in reverse. So the fact it's a statistical anomaly of a statistical anomaly means it's on you to prove we went to the moon. And you deleted all the data that proved it. And like all the images and shit are just ridiculous. Like the fact that the fucking shadows don't line up is insane. And people are like, well, they debunked it. No, they didn't. They couldn't recreate the surface of the moon. So they went to the desert and used lights to show that, shadows aren't always parallel. All that showed was that lights make shadows not parallel. You want to know what you could have used? The sun during the day. When you have a light source that far away and that big, shadows will never do this. They're always parallel. Always parallel. And there's hundreds of photos from the moon where the shadows are just like all over the place. And people are like, well, it's because the moon dust is so reflective. That argument requires me to provide moon dust and no atmosphere and a sun to show whether or not it's reflective. Nice try, Blasey Ford. It's the same exact tactic as Blasey Ford. And that's why I've been a little alienated from political discussions lately because I'm watching right-wing people literally do exactly what Christine Blasey Ford did. Prove that you didn't rape me. How about you prove that you did? It's just crazy. And the worst is when people are like, dude, it brought a lot of morale to America in a time when there was a lot of domestic upheaval. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have been in Vietnam. You ever think about that? Maybe people had a right to not want endless war that eventually started taking over. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the ins and outs. All I know is lying to pacify people. That it's the same argument as yeah, we put fluoride in the people because they need to be calm. We know better than the truth. No one knows better than the truth. When the hell are people going to learn that? All right, I'm going to get to Neil Armstrong in a second. BB, Cabby, yeah. Who cares about the moon landing? The Earth is literally not a spinning ball flying through infinite space. Watch Eric Dubai's video for real. I'm one thing at a time, guys. I'm not even tackling this. Some people are getting so just jacked up. They're like, you're a shill because you don't condemn all Jews or whatever. It's like, okay, Saudi Arabia runs Twitter. Saudi Arabia, knows all your info on Uber. Saudi Arabia is way more it's not even close. So what do you avoid that? What about China? What about your own government? What about your own CIA? What about your own fucked up heart? It's that whole projection thing. And it's you think that's going to work on me, motherfuckers? There's already too many people here. I feel uncomfortable. All right. How can someone not all right. Also, want to say, I think the moon broadcasting issues are your best points. I never thought about that. You blew my mind. Yeah, but they're all undeniable points. The shadow thing, the fact that there's no protection from solar radiation. The fact that no one brings up the Van Allen belt in any MIT videos in the 60s. Neil Armstrong never brings it up. No one brings it up because they didn't really know about it. That's a massive hole in the story. Saying that you don't have the technology anymore, never going back, saying it's all insane. But you got to trust me on this. Every one of those points has a counterpoint that pacifies people. Where they say, well, they triangulated with Houston and these two other cities, and then they got the wave through space in a different frequency and then retransmitted. But it's all bullshit. The delay alone, they only did the speed of light. That isn't how it works. And the amount of energy you would require is insane. The fact that you would have to hit a mark, the fact that we can't currently do it in domestic terrestrial television 30 miles away from something. And even on Earth, like you have like these dishes that have to like move, and it's a whole process. But I'm not an expert, and people, according to the Milgram experiment, will literally murder another human being if it's told that they should, if someone's simply wearing a lab coat. I've tried telling people that I'm very smart with proof, and that just makes people think I'm a dick or I'm like arrogant. I was literally just trying to dispel the whole like you're an idiot thing. So I figured out my angle, and that is, since it's an anomaly of an anomaly, it's up to you to prove that. Like it's the only time in the history of humans that someone has went somewhere and no one has followed. And no subjective thing you can say, no like follow-up thing is going to work, because we've went everywhere on Earth, and some places had no financial benefit. I mean, empire doesn't have financial benefit. India was bleeding England dry. It's like, that's not how humans operate. One person goes across the ocean, everyone wants to go across the ocean. One person flies solo across the Atlantic, everybody wants to. It's human nature. People will go to war over like an island no one cares about. The moon, yeah, we would have had other people go. And so I just want to know what the reasons were. And then at that point, if someone doesn't have a reason for that, and they still think you're like a fool, they're kind of gone. They're zombies. They're NPCs. They're non-player character, and that's true. If someone isn't at least amazed by that, because I look in people's eyes for amazement. Like when I like what that dude just said about blowing the mind about live broadcast. It's like, do you know how many people would hear that and not feel like their mind were blown? They would feel threatened and angry, just immediately angry. And those people are kind of the only way out, I think, could potentially be, why has no one ever gone there? And people would be like, well, why didn't Russia prove us wrong? It's like, dude, there's a million explanations for that. A, people teach in other countries that we didn't go to the moon a lot of times. B, if they had proof that we didn't go to the moon, that could have been blackmail for the last 50 years. C, they could also have programs that they don't want ruined by knowledge that we can't go to the moon. What if they have similar Ponzi schemes? D, there's an infinite amount of reasons why Russia wouldn't do that. What if Russia didn't have definitive proof? What if Russia's in the same boat where they like point to these things and people just say like, but my uncle, it's more likely that Russia has had blackmail on our CIA for 50 years than we went to the moon. It's like, if I had that type of dirt on a country, why would you just give it to the press? Like, why wouldn't that, like, you use that for, like, secrets are power? All right, just sent you 2 PayPals, bud. Please read them. Okay. I also want to say, I think the mood, oh, yeah. Check out the Lunar Wave Crow 777 on a YouTuber has filmed on many occasions that appears to be a video bar going up the surface of the moon. Yeah, but those things don't work in any debates. People just are like, oh, you're a retard. It's just insane. They've been fed because they need the lie. It's a repetition. It's that they associate pride with it, fantasy, belief, all this stuff. What if they shared a moment with their dad, watching the moon landing? Or what if they like looked up at the moon when they were a lonely kid and thought like, one day maybe I could be up there? Like, these things root people into lies. Those are the things that root people. It's not evil. People aren't just like bad people. It's not like these people desperately clinging on to this are because they like hate me. It makes them hate me. But it's because they have a memory or they have a feeling. It's all emotional. It's very similar to abortion. It's like, if it's obvious that abortion is immoral, and someone has been backing it, or like someone has had one and doesn't want to deal with the emotions, or someone like, they can't face that. So instead they make you the bad person. And I wouldn't be a good comedian or someone who I'd have no self-respect if I just reacted to people shaming me falsely. I just don't, I have to just take this bullshit, but it's not enjoyable for me. What motive for a fake moon landing? You promised the world you're going to go, billions of dollars are resting on it, and you can't go. All the motive in the world. There isn't any more motive. Hubris, trying to give